It's full. Ah, shame. Kopa makhelwane makhi. How utswanjwetse kikene retse plan. For those of you who are connected, please can we do a quick exercise? It's going to take just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Please go on Facebook. We humbly ask, please go on Facebook. If you logged on to Facebook, search for the T page, which is Township Entrepreneurship Alliance. Are you there? For those of you who are there, I humbly ask, you will see that we are live and we want to reach as many people as possible. So, could you just share the live session that's taking place right now? All you have to do, just click on the share button and that's it. So that we can reach more. Even those people who are sitting in bed, who are tired, maybe hungover, whatever it is, but would love to be with us. Bahona, to watch the session and to get inspired and empowered. So, T-Page, while you're at it, you can also press that follow button for more information. But we're humbly asking, please share session yakajenu. Please share the live session which is currently taking place. And you know what the nice thing is? Let's say you enjoyed today's session, or maybe there's something that they said, Mari, azange uyithole Fandi 1, you didn't understand it. You can still go back onto the T page and you will find today's session and still listen. All right. So thank you so much. Once again, a big thank you to our online guests. We appreciate it. Tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're at. Tell us what business you're running, and we'll be in touch with you. I'm now going to call up a representative of T. 90% of you, or 95% of you, you said this is your first time. You don't know much about T. Maybe somewhere, somehow, there's something happening at the establishment. But you're still asking, who is T? And what does T do? So we want to give you clarity on that. I'm going to ask the founder, the visionary of T, to come up and share more about T. His name is Bulelani Balabala. Kupala mshapeleng matsoho.
Sanbonani, Ninjani, thank you so much for coming out in this cold weather to network and interact with fellow entrepreneurs, you know. When we started T 8 years ago, it was purely to do this. So we started 8 years ago when we funded it, you know, from our pockets. We still do most of the work that we do, we fund, purely because of the passion, because there's a misconception of you know, ikasi is inferior, ikasi is cheap, ikasi is where you go, sort of an aftermath thought. But you know, when you sort of look across the globe, you know, the most amazing ideas are taken from South Africans and township South Africans at that. You know, black people have been at the forefront of creativity, age on age and year on year. So I think when we started, we wanted to do something simple, to create a platform where entrepreneurs can interact amongst themselves. You know, we realized that the government can't do it by themselves, corporate can't do it by themselves. So we decided to say, yes, if we can bring in 4 people in the room, omunye unamaveni, omunye uthengisa ama-ice, omunye uthengisa ama-veggie, omunye uthengisa ama-juice, omunye uthengisa ukudla. Maybe lo weveni angatransporta ama-ice walo. Maybe lo angakwazi ukuset up ama-expo for ulo. Maybe lo if una shop angathengisa ama-juice kalo. Because you know, we keep waiting for a large corporate to come with the big money. We keep waiting for government to come with the big money, you know. But it's not going to happen because there's just too many people, you know. I think now there's 60.1 million people in South Africa. The people who are actually paying the tax that is keeping South Africa afloat is 9 million people who are earning a taxable income, you know. And then over and above that, 25 million people are on social grants. So conceivably, it's not going to happen. But we know Guti, the economy is going to be carried by, is already being carried by small business owners. So I think being able to create a space, and why we came to Forslow was simple. To create a space where Forslow people can interact with Forslow people, it's got nothing to do with us, and that's it. Because to show you, and I think to create a platform to show you that you are the market, and to walk away from that mindset, you know, there's a lot of pathetic mindsets that we sort of develop as people against each other, you know. We are happy to make Louis Vuitton billionaires, we're happy to make Ferrari billionaires, we're happy to make macro billionaires, we're happy to make, but the moment we're making our own, it's like some simienzi. So I think those type of mindset we need to then remove, because we actually need to make our own billionaire so that we've got a reference for what a black billionaire looks like. You know, if one or two or three of us becomes a shooting star, that's a beautiful thing. So my biggest encouragement in everything that will happen today is simply this. The person next to you is the most important person. Interact with that person. Leave, if you came here with a friend, a business partner, a wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, maybe meet someone new. Because there's power in networking. And that's why it's most of the time, network, we never think of the people around us. We never think of going to our phone book. Mam Mavis udula kwa konengi, Mam Mavis ubereka ko macro. Maybe go head office, maybe Mam Mavis wamtseba mutoko procurement. Mam Mavis wamtseba mutoko promo king procurement ngwanat. Kopia ko merokong ubabutzis. 4 or 5 days later, she's able to get you the details of mutoko procurement because you've got an insider. But because we undermine Mam Mavis, because she's maybe a cleaner there, we miss our opportunity. Then you're trying to get someone who's high flying and moving, but most cases they'll help you with nothing. So the biggest thing I'd say is, this is your network. This is the market. There is no other market. You know, because if we are in this place, where if in Spraidview, Forslow, where we are moving, where we are procuring services at establishments like this, well, touche, at the establishment, that's where we're interacting. When we're hosting meetings, we want to meet up with clients, this is where you're interacting, because then the venue is opened up for that. But we're also then breaking away from the mindset and the nuances that says township is cheap, township is inferior, township is the last thing that you think of. Because in my last closing part, you know, most of the time I used to get a lot of this from a lot of corporates to say, well, we hear what you're saying, but you know, the challenge with supporting township businesses or small businesses is that, you know, the quality is not good or they don't deliver. And my consistent rebuttal to them is, do you? Because how often do you get network dips? How often do you have your money in your bank account disappearing, or the bank service is nonsense, the relationship manager doesn't come back to you, you buy a cell phone and it doesn't work? There's a fallacy. There's no such thing as a perfect product. There's no such thing. I'd ask you now, point me to a perfect product. There's none. Because every product will have its own defect at every single intervals, at every single element of its touch points. But you know what you have? You should have an entrepreneur and an individual who believes so much and crazy enough in their product that they're willing to back it all the way, even in the midst of those questions and in the midst of adversity and whatever the case. So my biggest encouragement is network, engage with the people here. If you're still in Vosloorus, if you're not from Vosloorus, tag the establishment, because that's what we need to do. You know, there's stuff that we can do that costs us nothing, that brings a lot of impact. You've got this amazing lady who's woke up early. She's here to exhibit her business. You've got that gentleman at the back who's exhibiting his business. You've got others who are going to come. Just go there. What's your social media? Let me take a picture. What's your social media? It costs you nothing, because we always share things that don't impact our economy. But it's all about us being very deliberate about the impact of our economy. So sometimes you say, as in, I don't have the R100 to go buy a few drinks at the establishment or a burger. No, but you actually have something more powerful. You've got social media. You've got an audience. So build up that support and be conscious of building up that support. Because I'll tell you something about myself. I used to be when I started doing business 16 years ago. So I started doing business 16 years ago, Etembisa. And I remember when I started doing business, I remember then, you know, I think it was the 5th year, still doing very bad. You know, I'm doing about, I don't know, 10 rand, 20 rand a day, and so. The first 7 years were tough. I know that the change in my business was in the first 7.5 years, no, 7 years and 8 months. I remember the 7 years in the June of the 7th year, I felt like I'm going to shut down. But I decided for some reason, good as in, there's no other better option. But I remember in that time when I used to see someone starting an internet cafe like mine, I used to be angry. Ah, uyahlanya. Vele umuntu omnyama unje uyakopa. Wasenza mina. They want to eat into my market share. You know, there's that jealousy and there's that envy, you know. But I don't know what happened, right? Over the years, then you develop, you become more confident in yourself, you become more confident in your product. Then you start to see that even if the person parked their product right next to yours, it's not going to shake you up because people uniquely buy you. That's why we don't sell to become the next Coca-Cola. When we pitch, and you're pitching to investors, or you're pitching for money, you're pitching for funding, we are the best in whatever, we are going to be the next Louis Vuitton or the next Ferrari, then you've stolen away the uniqueness from your product. So the best way to brand your product is always link the product to your story. Because just in the same streets, have the same aunt, or rather have parents that are siblings, be raised in the same streets, yes, let's see one, the same, but our stories and experiences will always be unique and always be the same. So being able to fuse that in the story then differentiates you. The moment you're able to fuse your own personal story into your brand and product story, what that then does, it gives you the confidence. It doesn't matter who's in the market. The right clients who are for you are going to find you and they're going to locate you and they're going to do business with you. So the mindset that says, well, they are jealous of me or they hate me is the wrong mindset. Then it questions your credibility as someone who's gone into business. Kusho ukuthi wena kahle kahle vele awuzithembi and nale product yakho awuyithembi. So I think for me, the network is here. You know, share on social media. Thank you guys for coming. You know, support the establishment. We'll cover lunch. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that. But buy drinks on you. We'll cover lunch later on. Share. Guys, I'm telling you, it takes away nothing from you. Share. And even if it's not only the guys exhibiting, the guy next to you, oh, Ntwana petty product grand. You will know. But let me share. Because that's the power in the market. The moment we understand that, because it's black people that contribute largely to all the large conglomerates that you see in the country, it's black people. But we don't have a controlling stake, we don't have a controlling say, but it's black people. It's because we've undermined the power of 5 rand. We are waiting for it. No, get support 1,000. No, the 5 rand is power. Being deliberate, good to you. No, the 5 rand lenga then is there someone of color who looks exactly like me and I'm niggas the 5 rand? It's and then when that person messes up the first order, if that person is willing to learn, let us teach them. That person is willing to learn, let us teach them. Why? Because we are betting on ourselves and we are gambling with ourselves. Sure. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy. I spoke a lot.
That's the founder. Guys, you forgot to mention, we're not a funding institution. Asna mali. But what we are a link to the people who have the money. You think you pay in the food? Because some of the people, someone who came and said, yeah, ma always on where were we? I think we're in Tembisa. We're in one, like somewhere. Hey, it was heated. No, man. No. Guys, we're not a funding institution. Asna mali. Siyasebenza, but asna mali. But what we are is a link to the people who have the money. So what we can do is expose you to those opportunities if you're part of the community. Join the community, please. When an institution or one of the banks say, we are looking for entrepreneurs, they come to tea. Be part of the community. The other reason why we started tea 8 years ago was because, and I mean many of you would know, they would have these functions in Sandton, and the ticket would be like 500 rand, and they would bring all these successful entrepreneurs. Manje kumele usuke kuphi la eFosloras uyofika nini eSandton. By that time kumele umake sure ukuthi icathulo ziyashayina, usithathile ufaka ama-pumps mara ama-heels wafaka ebhegeni, kumele uthatha itaxi uyogibela eJozi and we always, why can't we take that information silethe like us? Because we're sitting there and we're like, no, but you know how painful it is, Ntwana, uplomile, and listening to someone who's successful, and in your mind you're like, no, man, but many product I'm into embuklula le. It's not that you're jealous, but you just know deep within. But the problem is that you don't have the information. You don't have the plug. You don't know where to go. You don't know how to get access to market. You don't know how to get the funding. So where do you go? Let's take what we learn in Sandton and let's bring it here. And that's what we're bringing today. All right, so we're going to have a good time. The last story before we get on to pitching, why we do these sessions. So, Yabanda, right? How many of you buy gas for your heaters? Gas, gas, yeah, for your heater to stay warm. Yesterday, elinye old lady in Plomanalo in the same yard. I was going to buy gas for her. So, umakoko sa next door, uyangibona, uthi kimi, uyakuphi uyothenga kuphi gas? Ngithi no, igas I'm going to go and buy it from my brother. He's about 15 minutes away. Uthi yo, hi, mini gas ngithenga le eRoodeport. That's about 35 minutes away. Nase lands, futhi bangicharge 500 or 700 rand. Ngithi yo, imali engaka. Firstly, it's distance. Secondly, it's cost. And I thought to myself, one of the reasons why distance and cost is killing her is because she doesn't know who's supplying gas that's closer to her. And at times, I always share this, that people can't order if they don't know what's on your menu. Why kumele uye kude when there's someone sitting next to you that can supply you in the same space? Say, look, kaslako. Takes only one, you go, you get the product, you come back. That's why it's important for us to network. Lastly, even if you don't have the product, guys, iba ilinki. I don't have the product, but I know someone who has it. And then you get your share. Uba slim. I don't know. I don't have the product. I need buy their product. But I know someone who buys gas. Then you ask Moyada, you want to take 20, 30%. But you need to network and grow your network and know people. Very important. I said to you, we are not here to sit and listen to me speak or to the speaker speak and then eat and then go home. We're here to have fun. We're here to learn. But we're also here, Sister Skolwe. So please take out a piece of paper, something to write on. We want to say a big thank you to IAF Brands, the establishment, City of Ekurhuleni, Sariti Resources,